Out of the MAC, trying to win the program's first bowl game, taking out San Diego State 7-5 out of the Mountain West Conference in a bowl game for a program record 4th straight year. And the Aztecs just went in front 7-0 on the 28-yard touchdown run by the quarterback Quinn Kaehler. It wasn't a pretty run by any stretch of the imagination, but it got the job done.
Well, if you're a San Diego State fan, it was a thing of beauty after the way the offenses have performed. Missed opportunities, a couple of big shots, and it took a quarterback keep to get into the end zone.
Great comeback win for Colorado State in a long game in Albuquerque, New Mexico with Washington State. Now we're in Boise for the Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and this is a return of 23 yards for Buffalo. That was Boise Ross, and it might be offsides in the kicking team. There hasn't been a lot of scoring so far in this game, but there has been a lot of action. A lot of things have happened in this one. We'll catch you up in just a second. Here's Jeff Hillier, our lead official tonight from the Sun Belt Conference.
Number 27 on the kicking team was offsides at the kick. The 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the run. First down.
Alongside Matt Stinchcomb on Clay Matvick, let's catch you up. Key plays. Buffalo blocking a 44-yard field goal, halting an 11-play drive. Then San Diego State blocking a punt, giving the Aztecs good field position. But they squandered the opportunity as the Bulls forced their 28th turnover of the year. But then the Bulls defense came back with a defensive stand, turning the Aztecs over on downs. But moments ago, Quinn Kaehler finally got the scoring started with a 28-yard touchdown run, 4-play, 55-yard drive. And here are our game trends. No passing yards so far for this Buffalo offense.
And some of that is due to drops. You know, so far tonight, Joe Licata, he's been dialed in from an accuracy standpoint. Hadn't got a lot of help from his receivers.
Alex Newts with a few receiving yards for the Bulls. He's closing in on 1,000 yards receiving for the second time in his career. DeMonte Casey, the corner for the Aztecs, makes the tackle, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. Buffalo, 8 regular season wins, the most in Buffalo's FBS era, going back to 1999. 8-4 on the season. They went 6-2 in the MAC under that guy, Jeff Quinn. Now in his 4th year as head coach. 30-plus points in 8 straight games. That's a school record. And the defense really led the way for the Bulls this year. 4th in the nation in turnover margin at plus 1.3, and they are led by Khalil Mack, the defensive player of the year in the MAC conference and linebacker. Has a couple of NCAA career records for forced fumbles and tackles for loss. And for San Diego State, 7-5. That's after an 0-3 start. They really showed some character this year under head coach Rocky Long. And if the game is going to be close here tonight, that favors the Aztecs. 8 games that they've played and decided by 7 points or less. They've won 3 of 4 overtime games this year. And Quinn Kaehler already a factor in this game. He's got the points with that touchdown run for the Aztecs. We've seen a lot of mistakes for both teams, though, early in this game. But now it's starting to settle in a little bit, and it's 7-0 the Aztecs. What have you seen so far, Matt?
Well, so far it's gone to form, other than the fact that a quarterback for San Diego State, who has not run the football very effectively at all this season, not much of a runner, which may have been why he was successful. Otherwise, it's exactly as we would have anticipated. San Diego State having difficulty in the field goal kicking department, another block. And yet Buffalo able to get the ball right back because of the fumble. So you're looking at all these things where you're thinking San Diego State, they've got a turnover already. They've got difficulty just outside the red zone area with their field goal kicking unit. And yet they're still able to stay on top. And it's been because excellent defense played so far by the Aztecs on their side of the football, getting Buffalo behind in the down and distance. The passing game has not gotten on track at all for Joe Licata and the Buffalo Bulls. But the other piece is this: big plays for San Diego State on offense.
There's Khalil Mack. He is going to be fun to watch here in this game today. And he really got national attention in game 1 of the season back in August at Ohio State in the Horseshoe. Had a tremendous game. He was all over the field. Ask Urban Meyer, he'll tell you. 9 tackles, 3 sacks, a pick-6 against the Buckeyes.
It just shows the athleticism that Khalil Mack has. When you talk to the coaches, they just rave about the fact that he's a complete football player at the linebacker position, and he certainly projects well to the next level. You look at the big boards and the way people are ranking him, and this is for a player coming out of the MAC, but he's shown that he can be the best of the best, and he's done it against some of the best. If you look at that Ohio State film, there's no denying how talented this young man is and how well he could play as a professional football player.
I'm talking with defensive coordinator for Buffalo, Lou Tepper, who's been around the game a long time, 47 years in coaching. And he says no one has been double teamed more in his years of coaching than Khalil Mack, and he is still as good as he is.
And you think about, the idea that Lou Tepper thinks he's a complete linebacker. He's coached 3 Butkus Award winners, some pretty good ones at that. Kevin Hardy, Dana Howard at Illinois, Alfred Williams at Colorado. He's Khalil Mack's as talented and more talented than all of them.
Incomplete, intended for Alex Newts. Just off his fingertips at the 25-yard line. King Holder, the corner, was beaten by a step. They can't complete the pass.
Okay, we thought that we were going to see these offenses for both of these teams take shots downfield. They opened the game, Buffalo did, taking a shot deep. And Newts, who's normally very sure-handed, an all-MAC performer, unable to come up with what would have been a game-changing reception.
So now 3rd and 7 as Anthony Taylor checks in at running back for the Bulls. This offense of Buffalo trying to get something going. Licata getting some heat from behind, and he's sacked. Ball comes out. And who got it? Allen stacked the pile. And it belongs to San Diego State. That is the first turnover for Buffalo tonight. And great field position now for the Aztecs.
Vaness Harris from his linebacker position. Right here at the bottom of your screen, he's going to be matched up with a back for Buffalo, and you'll see him come up inside, and he's able to get the edge, and Licata can't feel that pressure. You see San Diego State, they do an excellent job of jockeying linebackers in and out of the line of scrimmage. It occupies the attention of the offensive lineman, and it ends up with a mismatch in protection when you've got a back trying to block a speed rush outside linebacker.
For the second time, San Diego State starts a drive in Buffalo territory. Muema bouncing to the outside. And Adam Muema on his feet to the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 5. Khalil Mack, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year, winner of the Jack Lambert Award for the nation's top linebacker, made that stop, 2nd down.
We've seen Khalil Mack line up all over the defensive formation for Buffalo in this game already. Lou Tepper mentions that he's going to make sure he charts the tendency of what San Diego State is doing. He's not just going to line up to the field as he normally would. He wants to make sure he's in a place to make plays.
2nd and 5, it's Muema again, 1st down and more. Inside the 10, oh, there's a flag. Tackled hard was Adam Muema. It's a gain of 21, 1st down and goal for San Diego State, and there may be more yards added on here. Unless this is a holding call against San Diego State.
Holding, 44 offense. Penalties 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
Tight end Adam Roberts with the hold.
You'll see him at the tight end position lined up right in the middle of your screen. You see Redden, his arms just flailing everywhere. He's already lobbying. The play's still going on. Muema's running past him. And Redden's looking over at the referee saying, hey, you seeing all this? You seeing my jersey getting snatched off my back? Brings a good run back.
So now 2nd and 3. Quinn Kaehler. Time to throw. Comes across the middle to Ruffin, and it's complete for the 1st down. That's a gain of 13. When Kaehler needs a play like that, he always goes to Ezel Ruffin.
Well, and so far, Ezel Ruffin has shown why that trust has been established. Quinn Kaehler knowing that he can go to his top target, his favorite target, in Ezel Ruffin. Already here today, we've seen Colin Lockett targeted often. He's got a big drop that would have otherwise been a touchdown. You see Ezel Ruffin figuring more prominently in the passing game.
Trying to turn the turnover into points. There's Pumphrey. And he'll get a couple. Jake Stockman, linebacker, makes the stop. Pumphrey really picked up the slack early in the year when Muema was struggling with that ankle injury. And he's been a nice compliment to Adam Muema. Exciting true freshman who's maybe the fastest guy on the San Diego State team.
That was something we asked the other day of Colin Lockett, a great return man for San Diego State. Is Pumphrey faster? And he said, yeah, I think the young guy's got a step on me.
Tipped his hat and said, you bet he is. Second down and goal for the Aztecs. Chad Young, the fullback. Play fake. And he'll catch a pass. And he takes it to the 3-yard line. He's got a receiving touchdown this year. It takes 2 to bring him down. Sherry and Stockman combine on the stop. So now 3rd down and goal for San Diego State. And this is a situation where, it's probably 2-down territory. They're, going to take a couple of cracks at the end zone here because the field goal unit has been abysmal. They've had 1 blocked already here today.
We just knew that was the case coming into this game, but already San Diego State has been turned away on a 3rd and 1 and then a 4th and less than 1.
Toss to Muema. Walks in, touchdown Aztecs. Adam Muema, his 13th rushing touchdown of the year. And it's a 2-touchdown lead now for San Diego State here in Idaho.
This time, San Diego State able to capture the edge. Adam Roberts does a great job. Chad Young. And Muema goes into the end zone unmolested. You see the Aztecs seemingly gaining some momentum after sputtering a bit due to missed opportunity earlier in the game. Now starting to separate themselves.
And Wes Fear knocks home the extra point. And it's 14-0 San Diego State at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
The 2013 Famous Idaho Potato Bowl is brought to you by Famous Idaho Potatoes. Look for the Grown in Idaho seal when you shop. Vonage. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Week.
Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. That's the Boise front, part of the Rocky Mountains here in Boise, Idaho. Happy holidays, everybody, alongside former Georgia All-American Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Clay Matvick. Don Davenport down on the field. She'll join us shortly. It's 14-0 San Diego State out of the Mountain West Conference, leading Buffalo. The Bulls out of the MAC. And right now, Buffalo's got to figure out its offense. They have really struggled. In fact, no first downs in this game so far, and we're already deep into the second quarter. This is bobbled in the end zone. That's Boise Ross. Quite a coincidence. Boise Ross, his first collegiate bowl game, playing here in Boise, and he has to take a knee. ESPN has more coverage of Capital One Bowl Week tonight. Tulane facing Louisiana Lafayette in the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week, Tulane, Louisiana Lafayette tonight at 9 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. San Diego State offensive coordinator Bob Toledo, former Tulane head coach, as it happens. So we're under 12 minutes to go here before half, and there is Joe Licata. He is just 1 for 6, 3 yards passing in this game. Now, in his defense, some receivers have dropped balls in this one. Bo Oliver. He'll get a few yards, maybe 4. Second down at 6 coming up as we go down to Don Davenport.
Yeah, guys, even though this Buffalo offense has struggled, I'm not seeing the frustration over here on the sideline, and that's thanks in part to quarterback Joe Licata. You can see what a leader he is. He's communicating with guys left and right. He'll start with his running backs. He's spent some time with Brendan Oliver. He'll move down the line, talk to his wideouts, and then to his offensive line. Coach Quinn said his football team is in the position they're in because of that guy, and you can see it here on the sideline.
Grew up in Williamsville, New York, near Buffalo. It's Oliver again. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short as he gets 2 or 3 yards on the run. Licata had a scholarship offer from Syracuse, but he chose Buffalo over Syracuse because he grew up rooting for the Bulls, always wanted to play for Buffalo.
And that's something that head coach Jeff Quinn wants more kids in the state of New York to be thinking. Well, he wants this to be, Buffalo to be the premier program for that state. And Joe Licata is the poster boy for that type of mentality.
Big 3rd down here. Oliver hit, moves the pile forward, and he's got the 1st down, the first of the game for Buffalo. And maybe that will get some momentum going Buffalo's way.
Well, we've seen sparks of this, but they've never been able to catch fire. They end up smothering themselves with either a tackle for loss or a penalty. But Brandon Oliver showing on that run what makes him such a good runner and why Jeff Quinn likes him so much. He's basically a knot of muscle and just worked his way to pick up that first.
And it's Oliver again. He's about 30 yards now away from 4,000 in his career. And if he gets that here today, he'd be just the 13th player in MAC history to rush for 4,000 yards in a career.
Quite an accomplishment, to say the least. You know, both of these teams are paced by their running game. You know, Adam Muema already here tonight, able to acquit himself well, pick up yards on the ground, and now Bo Oliver's starting to get rolling.
Play fake. Licata wants to throw over the middle, has a receiver caught at the 48-yard line. Going down to get it is Fred Lee, the #2 receiver behind Newts, and he's had a career year as a senior. 14-yard pickup, 1st down, Bulls.
That's something that happens when you're able to establish the running game. The play action is more meaningful, opens up the middle of the football field because you buy the linebackers and the attentions of the safeties. That time Fred Lee able to find the soft spot. Licata delivers another strike.
They go back to Oliver. And Oliver's going to be stacked up after a couple of yards. Galea, the defensive end, makes the stop. Bo Oliver, roommates and very good friends with Khalil Mack. In fact, they made their visit to Buffalo together. They're both from South Florida. And they fell in love with the school. They knew that Buffalo was willing to offer them a scholarship when there weren't other schools knocking down their doors, and they become great friends and a big reason why Buffalo is here today. Short drop, 2nd and 8. Slant route to Lee, 1st down. And he is down at the 30-yard line as Buffalo is now starting to move this offense. Flag comes in late. Flag down at the 30-yard line, right where Lee was tackled.
You know, Clay, for these teams to, you know, they don't see each other in the regular season. It's been pretty chippy.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, 27 defense. Penalties 15 yards, 1st down.
That's the safety, Eric Pinkins.
Well, you know, what Fred Lee takes exception to is Pinkins is on there. He's trying to rake the football out. He's laying on the back of his legs and then gives him a little extra shove. I'm sure Fred Lee wasn't participating as well, but it's always the second guy that gets pinched.
And I think Lee also did a nice acting job there to get the officials' attention and the flag. 1st down carry for Oliver again. Boy, hard runner is Bo Oliver. Give him 5. And Buffalo is now at the 10-yard line. Micah Seau, the cousin of the late Junior Seau, making the tackle from his outside linebacker spot. You see the first 4 drives for Buffalo, 12 plays, 18 yards. They went 3 and out 3 times, and then they turned it over on a fumble. And this drive, 8 plays, 50 yards, and they're knocking on the door.
Well, what got it started was the big 3rd down conversion run by Brandon Oliver that opened up the gate for this series.
Thrown to the end zone, Joe Licata to the corner, incomplete. Ooh, and sliding. Look at that gate is Alex Newts, the leading receiver.
Alex Newts having kind of a tough outing so far today, now getting assaulted by the barrier over there. Did you see the conversation going on between these two teams? I think they recognize they're evenly matched. You see there a little ice. It was hard enough to stop when you're wearing cleats. Obviously, this is turf and the footwear, and then you hit that ice over there. He slides right into the barrier. Did a great job of cleaning up this football field with the amount of snow that we got last night.
Yeah, got about 3 inches. And Boise, a sloppy mess. 3rd down at 5. To the outside, caught by Oliver out of the backfield. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Touchdown for the Bulls.
A receiving touchdown for Brandon Oliver from 10 yards away. He takes it in, and the Bulls are on the board.
10-yard touchdown pass. Oliver.
Well, that offense finally came to life, Matt.
It was Brandon Oliver that got him rolling finally. You know, Buffalo got out of their own way and were able to put together a nice drive for score.
Everything that Bo Oliver has is very good hands. Now this play is under review.
See Oliver, he's caught 22 passes coming into this game. The field judge is right in the way on that angle to where we can't really see. Obviously want to make sure that he had established himself inbounds. The ball breaks the plane. See him as he extends the football. It looks to me like not only was it ruled a touchdown on the field, I don't see anything that would have that call to be overturned. Yet another athletic play. And we talk about Khalil Mack, but Brandon Oliver's another guy who's pivotal.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
We've been talking about Mack and his NFL future. They think Bo Oliver might get a chance to play at the next level. But because of his size, which he's just 5'8", 200 pounds, there's always going to be those naysayers that say he probably isn't going to have a chance.
It's certainly going to be an uphill climb for Brandon Oliver. And at the same time, if you can demonstrate that you can run physically, finish runs, and catch passes out of the backfield, it's the more you can do that makes you more valuable.
Patrick Clark, the junior kicker, banks home the extra point. And Buffalo with a 10-play, 70-yard scoring drive in just over 4 minutes. Oliver takes it in. And it's 14-7 San Diego State.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Beautiful scenics here in Boise, Idaho, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and it's become a game now as Buffalo in a 10-play, 70-yard drive in just over 4 minutes to cut San Diego State's lead in half. Brandon Oliver, the 10-yard touchdown reception. Now this is Colin Lockett, the weapon return man for the Aztecs. Flags. 1 man to beat. And he is gone 96 yards, but it might come back. Lockett with 3 career kickoff return touchdowns, a San Diego State record. This would be 4, but there is a flag at the 25-yard line.
During the return, holding receiving team, number 9, penalties 10 yards, first down.
That's Stan Sedbury.
I think it's right here is where we're talking about. No, it's right. It's the tackle. Wow. Well, you know, you look at it as Anthony. To me, I think it looked like to me that we ended up tackling Anthony Taylor on the coverage. That's what ended up springing Colin Lockett. He's had another opportunity in this game to break one open. Dropped a big pass in the first quarter. And then to have a big kick return negated. Let him rest just for a second. We'll get him right back into the lineup.
There have been some missed opportunities for the Aztecs, no doubt. This drive starts now at the 15-yard line. They swing it out to Ruffin. He'll get a yard. We go to the studio on an update with Chris Kaehler.
Clay, this instant replay brought to you by the new Surface over on ABC, the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl, and maybe the only mistake of the day by SC's Cody Kessler. The pick six here. Darren Smith is going to take it all the way back, but it's still 38-20 Trojans. They've been in control all day long over on ABC.
And they've got the interim head coach, Clay Helton, running the team. Fresno State, of course, the champions of the Mountain West Conference. San Diego State nearly had that team beat early in the year. Pass downfield and incomplete. Went to Ruffin again. Well defended by Courtney Lester. I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with Courtney Lester. And there was pressure from Khalil Mack on Kaehler.
Once again, they're trying downfield, but Khalil Mack able to beat one block. We mentioned how many double teams that Khalil Mack has. Well, it's hard to get to the quarterback that way. But great job by Courtney Lester staying with the football. It was a little bit behind Ruffin. Otherwise, I think perhaps they come up with that reception. We've seen Lester. They've tried his side over and over again. And we've seen Khalil Mack able to get into the backfield regardless of how many layers of protection San Diego State puts in his path.
San Diego State trying to convert for the 5th time on 3rd down, and it's juggled and nearly intercepted. Tim Vizzi, the intended receiver, and Najee Johnson almost picked it off. 4th down.
Once again, you can tell Bob Toledo and Quinn Kaehler, they are determined to push this football deep downfield. You want to make sure that Buffalo respects it, at the same time loosen up a defense. Once again, afforded the time to deliver. That's a ball that needs to be caught. We've seen several drops in this ball game. I don't know if it's owing to the temperature or not.
That's the 3rd San Diego State drop. First punt here for Joe Licata. And Boise Ross sees it go out of bounds. 36-yard punt. Buffalo has some momentum. They're down a touchdown. We'll see if that continues when we come back with 6:41 to go before half.
Capital One Bowl Week, December 21st through January 1st.
Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome back to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. 6:41 before half, 14-7 Aztecs. Capital One Bowl Week continues Monday on ESPN when Tyler Tettleton leads the Bobcats against Shane Carden and the Pirates. The Beef O'Brady's Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Week. East Carolina taking on Ohio Monday at 2 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. Here's Buffalo. They scored on an impressive 75-yard drive in their last possession. This is their first drive starting inside San Diego State territory. A pickup of 3 as we go down to Dawn.
Yeah, they did score, and I tell you what, Aztecs head coach Rocky Long, not a happy camper with his defense. He made sure that he let them know how unhappy he was over here on the sideline. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure fans about 20 rows up could hear him. He said, "You guys were soft. Don't let it happen again."
And he serves as his own defensive coordinator. There's a flag. Motion
before the snap, false start, 18 offense. Penalties 5 yards, 2nd down.
Fred Lee, the receiver. That's their 3rd penalty on the Bulls.
Well, that's the one thing they were able to avoid on the touchdown drive. They were able to play cleanly, not only pick up a key 3rd down, get Brendan Oliver rocking and rolling in the ground game, also incorporated as a receiver out of the backfield. But what kind of undid some of their efforts earlier in this game was this very thing, this type of thing, holdings, tackles for loss. So you know you get behind the down and distance.
Oliver straight ahead, gets a couple of those yards back. Now, Buffalo, the most penalized team in the MAC this year, and there is another flag. 62 yards per game. Let's see if this goes against Buffalo.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct, 47 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
It's actually going to go against Cody Galea of San Diego State. You mentioned it before. This has been chippy most of the game.
It's these teams don't see each other very often.
Never met before.
Maybe somebody stole somebody's mashed potatoes earlier this week, because you see it right here in the pile. Now watch Kling, number 70, get shoved by Galea into the official. And the umpire was smart enough to understand the chain of events.
They may have gotten the number wrong. There's Oliver. A couple. 2-yard pickup. And 2nd down and 8.
Really, Clay, I think that's the 3rd personal foul and/or unsportsmanlike conduct that we've seen tonight. And when you've already got good field position, as Buffalo did, you're forfeiting basically a 1st down and a half in doing something like that.
Licata almost had it intercepted. In and out of the hands of Vanessa Harris, the big athletic linebacker. 2-year starter for the Aztecs, and he is upset with himself.
Well, that's the 2nd or 3rd time where Rocky Long has dialed up linebacker blitz from the 2nd level, and they can only got one protecting back to pick it up because the Aztecs are so active in their front. It's difficult from an identification standpoint sometimes in protection for the offensive line and the running back to be on the same page. And when you're bringing 2 blitzers in the same area, there's confusion.
Throwing again, Joe Licata complete to Alex Dennison, the fullback. And he's going to be about a yard short of the 1st down, maybe 2. Pinkins makes the tackle. That's 4th down. And we'll see if Quinn brings out the field goal unit. He is. And Patrick Clark was a real good field goal kicker for the Bulls, will attempt a 38-yard field goal to make this a 4-point game. His long is 51 this year. He's 12 of 19. Got a very strong leg. A 38-yard attempt. And it's good. And we're just over 4 minutes to go. We've got a ball game. It's 14-10 San Diego State, as the Bulls have scored 10 unanswered.
The 2013 Famous Idaho Potato Bowl is brought to you by United Heritage Insurance. Dream big, plan smart. Great clips, it's gonna be great. And the Quicksilver card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase.
Back at the Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, there is the world's largest potato.
How do you know that, Clay?
That is sour cream on top, I'm assuming, right?
Can we corroborate that claim?
Future Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez nearing the end of his career as the Falcons take on Colin Kaepernick of the 49ers in the last regular season game at Candlestick Park. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6:30. Then it's Atlanta, San Francisco Monday at 8:25 on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. And your time in the NFL, memories of Candlestick Park that stand out?
Nothing really. I mean, it's kind of windy.
And that's a 26-yard return. And let's go to Chris for an update.
Clay, coming up at the half, Todd McShay and Robert Smith will join me. And for those of us watching the first half there in Boise, you missed an unbelievable finish at the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. Words can't even describe it. You're going to have to see how it ended. And we'll show you the highlights coming up. Also, USC rolled in Las Vegas. And what does their future look like as they start a new era down there in Los Angeles? We'll talk about that at the half.
All right, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it looked like Washington State had that thing wrapped up. Then Colorado State came storming back in Albuquerque. Adam Muema, 1st down run and across midfield to the 46-yard line of Buffalo. Koye Houston ran him out of bounds. It's a 22-yard run.
Again, San Diego State's able to capture the edge. Chad Young able to take care of the lead tackler. And Muema who we've mentioned, had a somewhat disappointing season because of injury. And it took him a long time to get rolling before he felt good, before he felt more comfortable. This offensive line had to come together. But you could see some of the skill set being demonstrated in this first half.
First down from the 45. Kaehler goes up top, looking for Ruffin. Great adjustment. And he makes the catch inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. Okoye Houston was the cover man, but Ruffin got around him for a 39-yard reception. First down and goal, Aztecs.
One of the concerns was Buffalo going to be able to keep up with the speed that San Diego State has outside? Okoye Houston was trailing on this route all the way. Bezel Ruffin has proven, especially in the last couple of offensive series, to be very adept at getting behind coverage.
Leading by 4, San Diego State on the doorstep again. Fumble. Oh, and Muema recovers as Kaehler and Muema couldn't have a clean exchange. It's a loss on the play.
I think it's due to Redden. You see Redden, number 29, is able to get upfield so quickly that fullback Chad Young had to slow down, I think, to account for him. Caused a little bit of a logjam. Muema unable to complete the handoff.
Nearly a red zone turnover, and this team has struggled in the red zone this year. Now, rolling out, Kaehler throws to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Adam Roberts, the tight end, couldn't haul it in.
As you pointed out, Clay, this is certainly an area of concern, has been all season long. They wanted to be more balanced offensively, but they took a significant step back in their red zone production. Only 59% of their trips to the red zone result in touchdowns. They think that some of that is owing to the fact that they're throwing the football more. Well, that may be the case. They're only completing 36% of their passes in the red zone. You see an incompletion there.
And now Buffalo calls a timeout. San Diego State with a 3rd down and goal when we come back. They're up 4 here in Boise at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Crowd having fun. You know, it's chilly. This guy's all dressed for it. 14-10, San Diego State. And they're inside the red zone again. Today's storyline brought to you by Kay Jewelers. First quarter, San Diego State dominated. Buffalo coming alive here in the second quarter, but Quinn Kaehler and the Aztecs are at the 7-yard line of Buffalo with their 3rd down and goal. And both of their touchdowns today have been scored on a 3rd down play. And now another timeout called by Jeff Quinn in Buffalo. And you talked about the red zone deficiencies of the Aztecs earlier, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that Rocky Long is hamstrung. He doesn't have a dependable field goal kicking unit right now.
Yeah, I mean, you get down there and you're around the 25-yard line and in. People start thinking, you know, this is field goal range, something that at least should be amenable to our field goal kicker's range. That's not the case for San Diego State. I mean, you look at it, already we've seen 1 field goal attempt. It gets blocked. Who would have known if it ever splits the uprights, because it doesn't travel more than 6 yards back to the line of scrimmage. That's been a difficulty. Could have cost him, probably did cost him the game versus Fresno State, where they could have kicked a field goal there at the end of regulation. Ended up going to overtime, the only overtime game that San Diego State didn't win this year.
Out of the Buffalo timeout. Kaehler away from center, pitches back to Muema, bounces to the outside, hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 4th down and goal. Khalil Mack made the stop, but there is a flag down.
Number 46 defense was in the neutral zone at the snap. The penalty's half the distance. Repeat third down.
That's on the MAC Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack was in on the play. He had lined up at the end of the line of scrimmage. San Diego State was in 2 tight ends. I don't know, when I was looking at it initially, it didn't look like he was in the neutral zone. That's certainly a call that you very rarely, if ever, see. Certainly from a stand-up defensive player.
And this play is whistled dead. As there is another penalty marker down.
Before the snap, false start, 94 offense. Penalty's 5 yards, third down.
That's Robert Craighead, Bob Toledo's tight end.
Yeah, they're just swapping 5 yards back and forth. You'll see Craighead right here lined up over Khalil Mack. Probably just trying to get a little bit of a head start and make sure he gets that reach block. And Mack did a great job of getting outside, make sure he maintained containment on the previous snap when he was called for lining up in the neutral zone.
Penalties starting to pile up now for San Diego State. Same play, Muema. This time he does get the corner, and he gets the end zone. Touchdown. Adam Muema from 9 yards away. Well, it took a while. And a couple of plays he went the wrong direction on penalties, but they get in.
Effectively, 3 plays in a row that are attempting to capture the edge. They're finally able, third time's a charm. You go 5 yards up with a penalty, 5 yards back with a penalty of your own. Go right back to the play. You liked it the other 2 times. What's wrong with it the third try?
Wes Freer to make it 21-10. Boy, that's a low extra point attempt. Got it through. He has missed 6 extra points this year. That one he's able to get home. It's 21-10 now. 5 plays, 67 yards in 2:56.
You see Muema again, nice patience. Chad Young doing a great job as his lead blocker, number 40. And that time, the Bulls get outflanked. You can see Okoye Houston upfield. And Muema, patient enough. Same play call 3 times in a row. Khalil Mack on that one play was blocked by 3 different players for San Diego State. And that was enough, proved to be enough anyway, to block the standout outside linebacker for Buffalo. He made the play previously, but Muema proving to have just too much speed to be able to get outside. You know, Derek Brim was another who was able to come up and could have made that play. And San Diego State capitalizing on their opportunity yet again and running counter to what we've talked about earlier. Red zone difficulties. We've seen them kick a field goal when we didn't think they'd do that. So we've seen some elements for San Diego State, maybe some glimmers of hope from the areas of deficiency coming into this ballgame.
Football at San Diego State is in great shape now. Between '99 and 2009, they didn't have a winning season. Now 4 straight winning seasons. And trying to win a bowl game for the 2nd time since 2010. This is going to go into the end zone again. Boise Ross takes a knee. And the Bulls will start at the 25. Christmas Day presented by State Farm. A great lineup of NBA games. The Bulls and Nets, Thunder and Knicks, Heat taking on the Kobe Bryant-less Lakers, the Rockets and Spurs, and the Clippers and Warriors. The NBA all day on ESPN and ABC on Christmas Day. Pretty good day next to the tree with the nog, watching some ball.
The nog, huh? Eggnog, I hope you're talking about? Yeah. All right, just clarifying. A little nog, a little hoops. Does it get any better than that?
You don't like eggnog?
I love it, man.
Just over a minute to go, first half. You know, we've seen passes for Joe Licata sail all afternoon.
You know, he's been off the mark at times. You know, frankly, to me, I think it's been more on the deep balls where he hasn't been able to dial it in quite as well There have been a couple of drops, though, where it's made it more difficult, I think, for him to get a rhythm. And also keep in mind, San Diego State has done a pretty good job of getting hands in his face as he's trying to deliver the football.
5 for 13, 48 yards. Pressure picked up, and he throws incomplete again. Looking for the flag is Fred Lee, none thrown. 3rd down and 10, 58 seconds to go as Marcus Andrews, the Warriors safety, was in on the coverage.
And again, the chippiness kind of continues. Fred Lee, not too pleased. I mean, clearly it looked to me as if he was held by Marcus Andrews. That's why it looked like it was he was led too much by Licata. As it stands, another incompletion.
And 2 for 7 on 3rd down. Licata airs it out again, tipped, picked off. Intercepted by Marcus Andrews. Inside the 30. Cuts it back to the middle of the field and falls down at the 25-yard line. A 13-yard return after the interception. Second turnover for the Bulls.
Once again, another catchable ball. And it's been surprising that in this game, Alex Newts has had difficulty coming up with receptions. A tip ball is always dangerous. But you'll see number 19 as he comes underneath, he goes up and he alligator arms that one. I think the fact that he was up in the air, he might have been worried that he was going to catch a right L to the chest. As it stands, the ball gets tipped up in the air, and Andrews comes down with another interception after what could have been, I think, called a hold on the previous on Fred Lee.
Glorious opportunity for the Aztecs to add to their lead before half. Kaehler caught, touchdown. Dylan Denso, the former walk-on, with a 25-yard touchdown reception. Boy, and they quickly make Buffalo pay.
That's another thing. They're coming into this game. San Diego State haven't generated a ton of turnovers this season. And as you pointed out already in this ball game, able to get the quick takeaways and capitalizing on the quick change. Buffalo defensively unable to answer the bell on a short football field.
And it's 28-10.
You see Denso, he's lined up in the slot, and there's enough of time afforded to Kaehler, and you see that Denso, a little bit of confusion in the coverage, and 2 defenders for Buffalo incapable of getting over there in time. They turn around. Okoye Houston from his slot coverage position. The Aztec, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he's getting some exercise in to keep the blood flowing. That's an unfortunate mascot outfit for this runner.
Rocky Long wore shorts at practice here in Boise this week. I think on Wednesday and Thursday he wore shorts to try and send a message to his team that the weather is not going to be a factor for us. Yeah, we're a warm climate team. Buffalo is a cold climate team, but we're not going to get into our own heads. We're going to play the way we play, and we're going to take care of business. And so far in this game, they're doing that.
Well, he mentioned that you know, look, they played in some cold weather games. The game versus UNLV was, you know, at least for San Diego State's purposes, cold. And already tonight, you know, maybe his legs were numb. I saw him kick the table leg. He didn't even flinch.
This one is going to come out of the end zone for Ross. Boise Ross gets it across the 15 and not much further. Both of these teams came a long way to this bowl game, but certainly Buffalo had the further journey. 2,200 miles. You see that the current weather in Buffalo, 36 degrees. That's not much warmer than what we're at here late this afternoon in Boise. San Diego State 57 right now. Quite a bit warmer.
It's a long way to go to get more of the same if you're Buffalo, huh? You're used to that. You fly 2,000 miles to get more of this cold weather.
First meeting between these two teams in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. 30 seconds to go before half, and it's been that kind of half for Joe Licata. Nothing downfield, feeling some heat, throws it away.
Yeah, and had a lot of help from his receivers. And in fact, you know, where San Diego State, who've had their share of drops in this game, they've had more success throwing the football downfield. Ezel Ruffin with the big reception, a couple of big receptions in this game. And that's opened up San Diego State's offense and certainly the scoring. Buffalo has been incapable of getting that big play going in this game. They've taken their shots as well.
Licata pressured out of the pocket. And he'll angle out of bounds at the 23. He's being chased by Pinkins. And the clock stops with 19 seconds to go. Buffalo does have a timeout. Just 48 yards passing for Licata here in the first half.
Yeah, and a lot of those yards, as we've already documented, you know, have been left on the rug due to incompletions. Now, they tried to get Brandon Oliver going, and were able to do that on their touchdown drive. But it seems as if they've had difficulty getting out of their own way in some of these series where he's picking up 3 and 4 yards, and then they'll take a negative yardage play.
That's complete for a first down. Trying to get out of bounds is Fred Lee. Now the clock stops with 10 seconds to go to move the chains, as he wasn't able to get out. Start the clock. They'll spike it with 7 seconds to go. Let's see what Jeff Quinn, offensive coordinator Alex Wood, draw up here.
I was surprised that they said that Fred Lee didn't get out of bounds, but they ruled him in bounds. They end up burning it down as it is, regardless with the time on the clock. Another shot with the downs, but a heave to pick up a big play that has eluded Buffalo this entire half.
Joe Licata going to heave it deep downfield. And it is caught by somebody. Not sure who. It is a catch for Alex Newts. He wrestled it away, but unfortunately for Buffalo, the clock has expired, and now more pushing and shoving down on the field.
Newts, he's dropped some easier catches. That might have been the most difficult one by far. Licata giving his receiver a chance as you see the clock winding down. And Newts runs away from the football. It's like he lost track of where it was in the air. And then he just wrestles this football away, all for naught, as time had expired. And then the conversation continued after that play.
28-10, San Diego State at the half. Let's go down to Dawn.
Yeah, here with Coach Rocky Long. Coach, 2 big touchdowns there in the half. What's been the key to your offensive success?
Well, I think we've had a couple turnovers giving our offense a short field, but it's pretty ragged out there. We put the ball on the ground way too much. We've had way too many penalties, so the game's a long game. We got a long way to go.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time.
2 touchdown runs for Adam Muema, the San Diego State running back, and it's 28-10 here at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Now to the studio for the halftime report with Chris Cotter.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Week.
Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of the famous Idaho Potato Bowl from Boise, Idaho. We're getting ready for the start of the second half. 28-10, San Diego State. Alongside Matt Stinchcomb on play, Matt Vic, Don Davenport down on the field. How many potatoes do you think we've eaten this week? since we got quite a few.
Surprised we're awake right now with all the carbs we fired down.
Well, San Diego State in that first half won the field position battle, and for the most part, they've limited Khalil Mack's impact on this game.
You know, Khalil Mack still made his plays, and it's something we got to keep that in mind, is that they're going to game plan around him.
Yep.
And at the same time, San Diego State's done an excellent job capitalizing on their scoring opportunities. 2 for 2 in the red zone. Things really changed in the second quarter, though. Able to capture the edge with Adam Muema. Chad Young has done an excellent job all game long from his fullback position. And really, Quinn Kaehler, to me, has been somewhat of the story of the first half. And it's taken a lot to keep him clean at the quarterback position. They're sending 2 blockers to keep Khalil Mack off of the quarterback for San Diego State so that he can deliver the football. And if it's not 2 offensive linemen, they've got 2 running backs waiting on number 46 to try to penetrate the offensive backfield of the Aztecs. And by and large, San Diego State's done a good job of neutralizing his impact.
And here's our game track brought to you by Vonage. Outside of that 170-yard touchdown drive, Buffalo's offense has really been unimpressive. There's Khalil Mack, and we said it before, Lou Tepper, the defensive coordinator for the Bulls, coaching for 47 years. He's never seen anybody that he's coached double team more than that guy.
Well, he warrants double teams, and you're kind of a fool to try to block him one-on-one. We asked him yesterday, you know, when do you start licking your chops? And he says, whenever I only see one guy available to try to block me.
Buffalo will get it to start the second half. Return to the 26-yard line, and it's coughed up. 2 turnovers for the Bulls in the first half. Did they give it away here? No official word yet. San Diego State ball. 3rd Buffalo turnover today.
You see the displeasure of Jeff Quinn's face. You know, look, all San Diego State needs to do is kick a 50-yard field goal, and this whole season indicated nothing because they've gotten takeaways in this game. They've capitalized on red zone chances. That ball's bouncing around in there. It still could have been recovered by Buffalo late. You see the ball get raked out, and I think it squirted out. Regardless, San Diego State able to get the possession.
Dylan Denso, who caught a touchdown in the first half, knocked it loose. All right, now here's Quinn Kaehler going to work, throwing for the end zone. It's a low throw, and it's incomplete, intended for Tim Vizzi. Down to Dawn.
Unacceptable. That's the word head coach Jeff Quinn used to start out his speech to his team at the half. He said he can't believe, especially after this play, that they're playing like this on this big stage. When I asked him about adjustments, he said, I'll tell you what we need to adjust. We need to adjust between the ears. He said offensively, they are going to take some shots, but he said they have to stop turning the ball over. And what do they do, guys? First play in the second half, they turn the ball over.
He has to be disappointed. He knows what a great opportunity this is for the Buffalo program, trying to win the program's first ever bowl game. Adam Muema, first down and more, and he's down at the 12-yard line. On a 14 yards for Muema. He's now over 100 for the game. He's got a couple of touchdowns to boot.
It was a draw all the way. That time, only 3 down linemen. Khalil Mack being one of them, Brandon Crawford the other. They got a sack, strip, fumble out of that defensive personnel grouping previously. When you commit linebackers to the line of scrimmage, though, it opens up the rushing lanes.
I'll go back to Muema, the right side this time. And down at the 11. That's Bo Bachtel making the tackle on Muema. San Diego State 2-5 all-time in bowl games. Their last win, the 2010 Poinsettia Bowl over Navy in San Diego.
Keep an eye. Here's Khalil Mack out in space at the second level.
Kaehler. Oh, that's knocked down by guess who? Khalil Mack. He's got long arms. We saw those in person last night. He's got quite a wingspan.
You know, the guy he's put together, and there's no question about it, but you see the ball skills, and not only that, but the awareness. You could see him recognizing he could come up and try to pressure the passer, and as it's released, you know, he's a basketball player. He didn't play a lot of football. In fact, he's got a very abbreviated high school football career. It took a begging, really, of the high school football coach to get him out there. You see the ball skills.
Yeah, he only played 1 year of high school football because of an injury he sustained playing basketball. Kaehler off his back foot to the end zone, caught. Adam Roberts. The touchdown catch. And San Diego State again makes the Bulls pay for a turnover.
Well, we touched on it, Clay. Not a lot of turnovers to be had throughout the course of the season. Coach Quinn couldn't be more disappointed. We already heard from Don. It's just unacceptable. The turnover right before the half. And really, Buffalo had an opportunity to run out the clock. And once again, it seems like at the ends of these end zones, this is like arena football. Guys are getting hung up underneath the barriers, tied up in nets. Regardless, the touchdown still counts. Adam Redden had just lost track of Roberts. Roberts released from his tight end position. That happens so many times when you use tight ends in your blocking scheme on the run game, as they can sneak out in the passing route, and he was open in the end zone.
35-10 with 13:28 to go here in the third quarter. Jeff Quinn, the head coach for Buffalo, has to be upset with this turnover by Boise Ross on the kickoff. 21 points now off turnovers for the Aztecs.
Touchdown, Aztec.
Hello. I have to see that on Christmas Day. I'm jealous of Joe Tessitore, a couple of Hollywood legends there. Sly and De Niro.
Only PG-13, too. You take the kids.
Yeah.
Check that bad boy out. Bad Baywatch.
Well, here's a shock. Boise Ross is not back to return. He's probably going to be in Jeff Quinn's doghouse for a while. Anthony Taylor back and takes a knee in the end zone. Bulls will start at the 25-yard line. There's a flag down on the field. And we knew that turnovers would be a big statistic in this game. Buffalo, ironically, very good in turnover margin during the regular year, but they're getting whooped here tonight.
Well, they only lost 12 turnovers all season, and 25% of that duplicated here tonight.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct foul on each team. Number 9 on the receiving team, number 30 on the kicking team. The penalty's all set. First down.
Unfortunately, we've seen a little bit of that tonight. Hopefully that's not a sign that it's going to get worse here in the second half.
You got two teams that, well, they had to fight and scrap and claw their way to even get into this bowl game. They didn't know if they were going to get to the postseason. Both teams really wanted to be here. Both teams really want to get a victory. But there's been a lot of extracurricular stuff in this game.
So Joe Licata out of the shotgun, throws the slant route to Fred Lee, and he's immediately hit, and it lands incomplete. Licata has completed 7 passes tonight on 19 attempts for 108 yards. Tulane and Louisiana Lafayette coming your way from the Superdome in New Orleans tonight. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, that's coming your way after this one here in Boise. 2nd and 10. High snap. They get it in the hands of Bo Oliver. And he's tripped up after a gain of 3 yards.
Well, more and more, what we're seeing from San Diego State, the defense is very aggressive anyway. They're very rarely deeper than 10 yards, so all 11 players within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. But because Buffalo has not shown any ability to stretch the football field and complete passes downfield, it just gets tighter and tighter. There's not going to be much running room here in the second half if the Bulls can't complete passes downfield.
Trying to convert on 3rd and 7, and it's incomplete. Fred Lee, well covered. Marcus Andrews, who has an interception in this game. was all over Lee.
There's not enough on this football. It didn't get there in time. Andrews, Lee had a step on Andrews, but that's also one of the most difficult throws to make. You're throwing the out route from the opposite hash, and Lee was open. But that time, Licata just not able to get the football over there enough. It went on a rope. He kind of floated it.
4th 3 and out for the Bulls on 9 possessions tonight. Tyler Grassman back to punt. Tim Vizzi. Fair catch at the 38-yard line. We step aside at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. San Diego State in charge.
The 2013 Famous Idaho Potato Bowl is brought to you by United Heritage Insurance. Dream big, plan smart. Joseph A. Bank. We fit most everyone. And Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Mas.
Somebody said that this Boise weather was going to affect this San Diego State team. It's not even affecting their mascot.
Those beads must be heated or something. Some hot cocoa in that conch shell he's blowing down there.
Good field position again for the Aztecs. They start at their own 38. It's Muema right up the middle, gashing the Bulls, and goes into Buffalo territory down at the 46-yard line. It's a 15-yard run before the free safety brought him down.
Okay, this was something that I anticipated seeing a little bit more of earlier in the game, and I think that Buffalo really was the one that was demonstrating both of these defenses are more used to facing a spread offense. The teams that are spinning the ball all out over the football field, they're used to the pro set. They see it in practice. You see the play selection very balanced for San Diego State.
Muema again. And give him 5 or 6 more as Bactel tackles him. Muema now 127 yards rushing, has a couple of touchdowns. And this drive, like I said, started at their own 38. Their average starting field position, their own 43. They've been given gifts tonight by the Buffalo Bulls.
Yeah, and the fact that it was generated via turnovers, that's the thing that really stands out. This has not been a very opportunistic defense this season as far as generating takeaways and getting their offense short fields.
Muema slips down inside the 30. He was very close to sneaking off to the end zone. Derek Brim made the tackle from behind, but he is really taking it to the Bulls now. That's another big gain, this time 14 yards.
You know what they're trying to do, it seems to me, and it's probably something that was part of the offensive plan in this game, is to find where 46 is, run away. And I don't see him checking, and I probably won't see a lot of checking in this. This is a 9-on-7 drill at this point with the lead that San Diego State has.
Mack was on the line of scrimmage and quickly double teamed. They pass to the opposite side of the field to Ezel Ruffin. And it's an 8-yard pickup. Yeah, you're right, Stinch. They have stayed away from him beautifully tonight.
He's a guy that you have to know where he is. You have to have someone to account for him. And by someone, I mean a guy who can bring a friend and maybe another friend to help you out with him, because he's that type of a talent. But at the end of the day, he is just one player. This Buffalo defense has played well all season. You see him now in this instance at the top of the line. And Kaehler is checking at the line of scrimmage.
Play clock inside of 5. Gotta hurry and get it off. Kaehler, quick fire to Lockett. And again, they go to the opposite side of the field. Lockett slow to get up, but it appears he's all right. He gets 11 and a first down.
It's easy pickings for Kaehler in that regard. They've got 2 blockers assigned to Mack. You're in 2 tight end sets, so you've got number 46 removed by 1 more gap, 1 more player beyond the offensive tackle. What they don't want, and what we are unlikely to see for the balance of this game, is an open-end tackle where he's left alone to try to block 46 one-on-one. Few, if anyone's been able to do that. He is now at the bottom.
They find a hole with Adam Muema, and he's inside the 5-yard line. That's a gain of 7.
You know, that time he shows great leverage. He's not bad at the point of attack. It was Redden. You see there at the end, there's just a lot of that in this game. A lot of, I mean, you can call it being competitive. You got to snap the whistle to get all that done.
Second down and 3. They can pick up a first down at the 1. And toss it back to Muema again, picking his way. Can't get away from Mack. Khalil Mack making the tackle to bring up third down and about a yard to go for the first down.
It's kind of unique is that Redden and Mack are on the same side of the formation now. Two of their best tacklers, two outside linebackers, typically on the opposite side of one another. You see Mack, he was able to find his way through traffic. It's not just in pass rushing skill, but when you've got a downhill run game coming right at you, you gotta make sure that you can sit through that traffic as well. And he's proven to be pretty adept at that.
They go to Muema, and he's got the first down for sure, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's a left foot spot, he might not.
See where the linesman puts that ball down. It appears that he's got it. Jake Stockman made the tackle.
See there again. He just gets tripped up. He's definitely shy of the goal line. It's a good spot, though, coming in from the sideline.
So now first down and goal for San Diego State, trying to put Buffalo away here. And it is Chad Young, the fullback, with the touchdown. His third rushing touchdown of the season. And the senior, I think, getting a thank you from Bob Toledo, calling Young's number. He has been such a big part of this offense this year. Well, it's 41-10.
When you talk to the coaches, you talk to San Diego State's coaches, and they've got a distinct appreciation, as does Coach Toledo, because of the offense he wants to run. If you've got a game changer like Chad Young at fullback, that opens up a lot of things you can do offensively. It's basically an offensive lineman that can catch and run, because that's a big spark plug of a kid.
Young with the touchdown run, but Muema set it up. He had 43 yards rushing on that drive of 62 yards for the Aztecs. They're in charge.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Hot chocolate, a big seller tonight at Broncos Stadium. The last 5 drives have been touchdowns for San Diego State. They're not having a problem with this cold. And this is the most points San Diego State has ever scored in a bowl game. They've got 42 up on the board here at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Well, unless something drastically changes, too. You know, you've got Buffalo vying for their first bowl victory that looks like it's going to elude them yet again. Rocky Long getting off the slide. He's only got 1 bowl victory to his name.
And another kickoff. Fumbled by the return man. It's Anthony Taylor this time, and it goes out of bounds. Fortunately for the Bulls, they'll retain possession. But Jeff Quinn has seen a nightmare play out on special teams today.
Well, they've been bobbling it. It seems like the whole game. Boise Ross actually bobbled one earlier in his own end zone. He ended up kneeling on it. Anthony Taylor, lucky that the ball did most of the work for him to get out of bounds.
Let's go down to Don Davenport.
Yeah, Buffalo's going to go without running back Devin Campbell. He suffered a hamstring injury earlier in the week in practice. He's not able to get through it. Done for the day.
And Devin Campbell has been one of their main return men on the year. That's part of the reason they've had so many troubles here tonight in that aspect of the game, as this one gets across the 15, a 6-yard run for Oliver. Jeff Quinn, 4th year head coach for Buffalo, spent 21 years as Brian Kelly's offensive coordinator at Grand Valley State, at Central Michigan, and then at Cincinnati. This is Oliver again. He stopped short of the 20. And for 7 days, he was Notre Dame's offensive coordinator, but the Buffalo opportunity came along. He always wanted to be a head coach. And because he's a Chicago guy, you know, turning down Notre Dame to take this job tells you what he thought of this Buffalo opportunity.
And then to his point, you know, he said at the time there was only 120 head coaches at the Division I level. There were only 120 opportunities to do that. That's expanded a little bit. Still a pretty elite and exclusive fraternity.
Been in 2 bowl games now, and they're hoping to get their first win tonight. Looks like another penalty against Buffalo.
Before the snap, false start, 32 offense. Penalty 5 yards, 3rd down.
That's on Oliver. 5th penalty against the Bulls.
You know, we talked about how he can get a little exotic. Rocky Long, defensive coordinator for San Diego State. You see Brandon Oliver lined up outside. Not used to being out there. You can see the football when you're at running back. It's hard to peek inside and see it through all the traffic when you're all the way out wide.
Third down and 6. Hit in the backfield and driven down is Brandon Oliver. Galea, the defensive end, made the stop. 4th down. ESPN has more coverage of Capital One Bowl Week tonight. Tulane facing Louisiana Lafayette in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. There's going to be a big crowd there for that all-Louisiana affair. Tulane, Louisiana Lafayette tonight at 9 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. San Diego State lost to Louisiana Lafayette in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl here back in 2011, but they're doing fine tonight here in Boise, and that one is partially blocked, I believe, off the foot of Grassman. It takes a Buffalo roll near midfield. They've already got 1 block punt tonight, and I think they got a piece of another one.
Yeah, I think it was the same. I think it was Graves again. It was San Diego State. First quarter, they got a block punt. The Aztecs are still playing hard on special teams. Another block punt. Add that to your resume. Great field position again.
Look at the last 7 drives for San Diego State. 6 touchdowns in there. They have full control of this game here in Boise, Idaho.
Well, look how far they had to go to get those touchdowns. Not very. I mean, when you look at the great field position that they've had, the takeaways, you know, it's proven to give this offense a nice head start. Take nothing away for how the Aztecs have played offensively.
They go back to their workhorse, Adam Muema. Another good run for a first down, a gain of 12 to the 37-yard line. This is the 4th San Diego State drive starting in Buffalo territory, and Muema is just going through the Bulls like butter.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit loose now defensively for Buffalo. You know, we saw earlier some big plays, hit some big passing plays, but now it's the ground game. You know, now it's Chad Young, number 40. This is his time. You turn it into, you just sledgehammer into the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Quinn Kaehler hands off to Ezel Ruffin. He looked downfield like he was going to throw it. Now he runs, hurdles the defender, and gets close to the 30-yard line. Adam Redden stepped up to make the tackle, and Ruffin went right over the top of him. It's a gain of 7, 2nd down.
You see it where Kaehler gives him the football. It wasn't a throwback, but I think he was looking. It was well covered downfield. He was looking to deliver the football, and they're very aggressive. You know, San Diego State, in their loss to UNLV, opened up the game with a couple of trick plays. That was basically the extent of their offense that night.
2nd and 2. Muema, what a nifty move. Gets into the open field, cuts it back, and he's finally hauled down at the 11, but he is shifty. The junior from Covina, California.
That time San Diego State's able to cave down that entire side of the Buffalo defensive front. You know, Rocky Long mentioned that Adam Muema, you know, if he gets a guy up in open space, it's hard to tackle him one-on-one. If you give him room to make a move, he's an orthopedic surgeon's dream come true. He's breaking ankles, he's snapping ligaments in defenders.
Buffalo calls a timeout. Adam Muema. And San Diego State leading big. Probably dancing a little bit to keep warm here. It's 25 degrees at Broncos Stadium in Boise. 42-10 San Diego State. Adam Muema, 122 yards rushing. Make that 179 rushing. He's got a couple of touchdowns. He's been fun to watch tonight. It's expected he's going to forego his senior season and enter the NFL draft. 2 yards here. as Redden makes the tackle. He tweeted that he was going to go to the NFL, but that tweet didn't stay up very long. It was pulled within an hour, but everyone expects that he's on his way to the pros.
Well, that's not surprising to me. I mean, what's surprising is that you're on Twitter. How did you even know that? I didn't know you were a Twitter guy.
I heard it from somebody. I still have a rotary phone. Kaehler goes back. That's Bryce Quigley, the left tackle. Tackle eligible, and he's inside the 10-yard line. He's a former tight end. He'll pick up 2, and there's a play he'll never forget.
Yeah, he was a tight end 50 pounds ago. He's still got the hands, though, you know. Look at him. Look at him turn and run. God, what a jock. I'll tell you what, those offensive linemen, athletes. An injured athlete, it looks like.
Did you ever catch a pass? I mean, you played a lot of O-line in your days at Georgia in the NFL. Did you ever get lucky enough?
Oh, yeah, tons of them. Just never in a game.
Illegal touching, number 78 offense. Catching a forward pass. Penalties 5 yards. Repeat second down.
Well, he wasn't a tackle eligible.
It was worth a try, though. I think what they were trying to do is if he had reported eligible, but he didn't. You see him right here. In his left tackle position. Pass set, nobody to block, so he just says, I'll buy a ticket. You see it. If they'd have thrown it backwards, maybe it'd have been legal, but he doesn't have a legal number.
Now Kaehler tries the end zone again. Man goes down. That's Tim Vizzi. He wants a penalty flag. And none thrown. Adam Redden back in coverage, and now more words. There's been a lot of angry personalities down in the field tonight.
Yeah, you know, frustration, I'm sure, a lot of it. But from both sides all night long, you'd think that these were two heated rivals. These teams don't see each other. You know, if it were not for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, San Diego State's not worried about what Buffalo has done. Neither team had seen either one were it not for their common opponent in Ohio State.
Try that end around with Ruffin again. And may have given a thought to throw it. But just like last time, nothing open downfield, and Tamaris Bell makes the tackle for a 3-yard loss. And it'll bring up 4th down for San Diego State. Another flag down and maybe a personal foul. Maybe on Blake Bean.
Yeah, I think it was 3 number 3s. Ezel Ruffin and Blake Bean, number 33 for Buffalo, and they're jawing at each other.
After the play was over, have an unsportsmanlike conduct foul against each team. Number 3 offense, 33 defense. The penalty's offset, 4th down.
So now 4th down, and they're going to go for it here as the field goal unit again stays on the sideline. Here's that last play. Bean and Ezel Ruffin having words.
Well, at some point, the refs can only call penalties. But eventually, the coaches, and if not the coaches, the teammates have to get their fellow guys on their team to get their head on straight. Knock all this off.
Kaehler, he's going to be sacked. Adam Redden with the sack. And Buffalo's going to take over on downs. But with the big lead, you expected San Diego State to go for it. Nothing lost there. And Buffalo will have it back with 2:31 to go here in the 3rd quarter. BCS Bowl games coming your way. January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 6th, leading up to that national championship game, Florida State and Auburn. You and I were lucky enough to see Auburn a couple of times during the year. Surprise national championship game participant. What stands out when you look at those games?
That Alabama's not in the national title game. I mean, honestly, the way that Auburn got to the national title game and take nothing away from the Tigers was as an improbable route as I think you could take. And you know, you look at Alabama-Oklahoma as an intriguing matchup. I think you talk about what Bob Stoops was mentioning in the offseason about defenses in the SEC and how they don't face great quarterbacks. Well, now they'll get an opportunity to find out. you know, what their offense will look like, what that team can look like versus what I think is still one of the best defensive units in college football.
Joe Licata is going to be sacked at the 23-yard line. Nick Tenoff, Mountain West Conference honorable mention outside linebacker. That's San Diego State's 3rd sack today.
See Tenoff coming off the edge, the top of your screen, and Licata just kind of drifted into that sack. He's still trying to look downfield. Alex Dennison, the running back, wasn't able to provide much protection there. And it's been a long night for Joe Licata.
Tenoff's team-leading 6th sack of the year. 3rd and 13. 3rd down has been abysmal for the Bulls. They go over the middle with this one. That's complete. Licata throws a strike to Mason Schreck, the good receiving tight end. Redshirt freshman picks up 20. Back to the 45-yard line.
Well, other than the end of half pass that Alex Newts was able to wrestle away, that's the best pass and catch combination that we've seen all game really.
Back to Oliver. Nice move. Cuts it back up the middle. 1st down and much more as he rolls inside the 35-yard line. Down at the 33. Siluanu made the tackle. Big run for Oliver, a gain of 23.
And that's exactly what Alex Wood, the offensive coordinator for Buffalo, was hoping to see more of, obviously sooner, before the scoreboard got the way it is here tonight. I think that's exactly what they anticipated being able to do.
Licata jump pass to Oliver as he dumps it off short to the 25-yard line. Oliver 85 yards rushing. And he's got a receiving touchdown as well. It's going to bring up 2nd down and short here for the Bulls. This drive now, a little momentum. Good to see from Buffalo, who has struggled offensively most of the night. And now Oliver's going to be hit for a loss of a couple. Bo Oliver, because of his size, just the one Division I football offer. He's been one of the stars for this offense this year, but it has struggled tonight against San Diego State. 42-10 after 3. Capital One Bowl Week continues on Monday on ESPN. Tyler Tettleton, the Bobcats taking on Shane Carton and the Pirates. The Beef O'Brady's Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Week. East Carolina versus Ohio from St. Pete, 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Monday. Brandon Oliver, the running back for the Bulls of Buffalo, over 1,000 yards now for his, 4,000 yards for his career. It's one of the lone bright spots offensively for this team here tonight. This one whistled dead. San Diego State appeared offside.
Before the snap, offsides, 26 defense, unabated to the quarterback. Penalties 5 yards, 3rd down.
For more on Bo Oliver, let's go down to Dawn.
You know, Jeff Quinn preaches that whole work ethic, blue-collar work ethic, get your hard hat, take your lunch pail to work kind of thing. Well, Brandon Oliver just embodies that. And Coach Quinn handed him a hard hat because he is such a hard worker. And Oliver wears that hard hat everywhere. The guys on the team say he doesn't take it off. You can see him at the mall. You can see him on the bus. He always has the hard hat on. His work ethic, though, has really rubbed off on his good buddy, Khalil Mack. They run hills together, guys. 40-pound weights on their chest up and down these hills at midnight. Khalil said sometimes they even probably overwork themselves.
I believe it. Look at these guys in great shape. There's a shot at the end zone. Touchdown! Alex Newts. His 12th touchdown catch of the year. 23-yard pass from Licata.
Well, we mentioned Alex Newts has had kind of a tough night. He caught the longest pass of the game, 51 yards at the end of the half. And, you know, he mistimed his jump just a hair there, but in traffic, King Holder's all over him. Newts able to maintain concentration and come down with the score.
Patrick Clark with the extra point. Second touchdown of the game for Buffalo. Newts, 31 career touchdowns. Now that's a program record. Very good senior receiver playing his final game in a Buffalo uniform tonight. But San Diego State has been really tough to stop here in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Adam Muema, 180 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns, has been the star of this game. 14 career 100-yard rushing games now. Adam Muema, 5'10", 205 pounds. He's got quick twitch. You know, just moves very quick. Bounces to the outside, finds those holes. Great vision, and he's our Capital One player of the game.
It makes you wonder what this offense would have looked like with the full speed Muema for the entire season. Regardless, had to know that they were excited to get it back.
Is that a live football?
That was a topped, almost near whiffed onside kick attempt.
Everybody's a little confused down there. This is a not top 10 that you might see on SportsCenter later tonight. Here we go again.
Yeah, this is an E for effort. It actually, that ball barely made it off the tee, much less the 10 yards required.
So Tyler Grassman, who punts and kicks off for the Bulls, with a play that kind of epitomizes the night for Buffalo. And San Diego State again starting in Buffalo territory. This the 5th time they get it at the 35-yard line. And Muema stopped at the line of scrimmage. Khalil Mack making the tackle. No gain, 2nd down and 10. Capital One player of the game. There he is, Adam Muema. 24 carries, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. 6 100-yard games or more this season.
He's a talented kid. I mean, you look at his sophomore year, he had better numbers than Marshall Faulk did his sophomore year at San Diego State. If that tells you anything, and what they were expecting. Still eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark after basically being hampered for 3 games with injury.
Be driven back at the 31-yard line, a gain of 5. Lee Skinner made the stop. Don't forget, more Capital One Bowl Week action coming your way. Tulane and Louisiana Lafayette from the Superdome, which should have a very festive atmosphere right before Christmas, and an all-Louisiana fair under the roof.
Cajun versus Cajun in that one, right? There could be some acrimony in the Superdome for that one. I bet that's some of the best tailgates you'll ever see.
They really know how to do it up in Louisiana when it comes to tailgating. 3rd down and 5 with a shovel pass from Kaehler to Muema. And he's going to be stopped about a yard short of the 1st down, a gain of 4. And there's Khalil Mack. And now some more pushing and shoving and words being exchanged.
You see at the top of your screen, and watch him redirect. It was something that we were breaking down earlier. It's his ability to see the football and diagnose the quickest and shortest path to get there. He's more than just a pass rusher and an edge rusher. Incidentally, you know, he's tied for the tackles for loss with Jason Babin. And he's yet to get one here tonight, but there might be an opportunity amongst all these run plays.
75 career tackles for loss. There's a flag down. As Muema got the carry, a loss of 3.
Holding number 90 defense. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. The result is a 1st down.
Break for San Diego State. They get a 1st down, and Jeff Quinn very, very upset, as Christian Sicoli was the culprit.
Well, we've seen a couple of calls that you rarely see. Watching the middle of your screen, watch him spin Jordan Smith completely around. You can't do that. You know, you're not allowed to hold even if you're on defense in the defensive line. I've had it done to me when I was playing offensive line. It's pretty frustrating. The officials saw it and called it the right call. You just never see that hardly. So we've seen a defensive end lined up in the neutral zone or an outside linebacker. Now we've seen defensive holding.
Nothing going the Bulls' way. Chase Price, the number 3 running back for San Diego State, getting his first touch. Hit in the backfield by Colby Way, the team captain. All MAC defensive end, loss of 1, second down.
Okay, we mentioned Khalil Mack. It's back-to-back plays with tackles for loss. Buffalo able to get penetration. A couple of backups now on the offensive front. Bryce Quigley, obviously left tackle position, no longer in there.
Kaehler away from center, deep handoff. Price hit in the backfield. There's Tamaris Bell. And so now third down coming up. The last time on this field, San Diego State got that 21-19 upset of Boise State, which knocked the Broncos out of the BCS picture. And San Diego State kept that in mind when they came here. They said, you know, we've had good luck on this field. We feel good about our chances coming away with a bowl win here against Buffalo. Yeah, they played well tonight.
They own the blue turf, man. Over here, a little blue action. Reminds them of the sea, that coastal city that they're from. No matter how cold it is out here, they sure do look comfortable tonight.
Kaehler. Long pass to the outside. It's complete near the 10-yard line, but well short of the first down. Tim Vizzi hauls it in. So now fourth down again. First 40 seasons, 4 bowl appearances for the Aztecs under Brady Hoke and Rocky Long. Last 4 seasons, 4.
And now, as we mentioned, we'll be able to get a victory in one. It's something that Rocky Long has eluded him throughout his head coaching career.
This is what San Diego State does inside the red zone. They go for it on fourth down. Their field goal kicking is miserable. They'll take a shot at the end zone, incomplete. Denso, the intended receiver, double covered. Denso with a touchdown catch in this game. Doesn't get that one. And San Diego State will give it back to Buffalo.
Khalil Mack, his team's been muted on the scoreboard, but he's still making his presence felt. Getting into the backfield with yet another pressure. It ends up on top of the quarterback.
Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. It's Sunday NFL Countdown as Chris Berman and the gang provide everything you need right up until kickoff. And before you set your lineups, catch Fantasy Football Now at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Get all the stuff you need there for your fantasy teams. Playoff seeding jockeyed for right now in the NFL. Big one, Saints and Panthers in the NFC South. Coming up. 42-17, San Diego State leads. There's Brandon Oliver, another carry. And there's a penalty flag. We've seen so many of those here tonight.
Face mask, 36 defense. Penalties 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Nick Tenoff, the linebacker. Speaking of the NFL, Khalil Mack grades out well when the scouts take a look at him. This is according to Todd McShay, and he gets high numbers.
Yeah, I tell you what, I would even grade him higher on the take-on skills. I'm assuming that's at the point of attack or when he's engaged. He's got long arms. His arms are 38 inches long at least. And, you know, he's measuring in 6'2". He's got the arms of a guy who's like 6'6", 6'7".
What a run for Oliver. It's going to be close to a first down. In fact, they're going to give it to him. Khalil Mack, even though, you know, his team hasn't put up a lot of points, he's made some plays. He's been involved. San Diego State, though, has done a really good job keeping the ball away from him at times.
Yeah, and when they've run at him, or if they needed him in protection, they've had 2 and 3 guys capable of helping on number 46. regardless, here in a couple of months, some NFL GMs are going to go Christmas shopping for an outside linebacker, and he's the guy, the number one guy that they're going to look for to take off the shelf.
We were really impressed by him last night when we met him. Just his humility. Very smart young man. He understands that he's got an NFL future, but he didn't want to talk about it. He wanted to focus on the bowl game tonight and his teammates and how much they've meant to him.
He was candid as well. I mean, it seems to me like he's got a very good self-awareness, what he does well, which is pretty much everything, incidentally.
Licata, and he's sacked again. That's the 4th San Diego State sack, this time Everett Bede getting to Joe Licata. Let's go down to Don for more on Khalil Mack.
Yeah, if you're wondering why he wears the number 46 as a linebacker, that was his original player ranking in the NCAA football video game. He didn't like it. He thought he was worthy of a higher ranking, so he decided he would wear 46 the rest of the way just to prove everyone wrong, almost kind of like a chip on his chest.
That's right. Yeah, he's proven a lot of people wrong. Licata nearly sacked again. Shovel pass to Oliver. And he gets it back close to the 45-yard line. That'll be 4th down with 8 minutes to go. So Khalil Mack, we've seen him line up quite a bit, Stinch, on the line tonight. He is a linebacker technically, but we see him play rush end equally as much, I would say. In the NFL, how is he going to be utilized?
Yeah, you know, I've seen some of these scout guys talk about, you know, in a 4-down front. I don't know that he'd have to gain some weight, I think, for him to be a hand in the dirt type of a defensive end, setting the edge down in and down out. But if there was an opportunity, you know, Lou Tepper thinks that he could play off the line of scrimmage as a linebacker in any type of system.
4th down pass behind the receiver, incomplete.
But more naturally, that 3-4, he'd be a terror as an outside linebacker.
There's that famous Idaho Potato Bowl trophy.
The 2013 Famous Idaho Potato Bowl is brought to you by Famous Idaho Potatoes. Look for the Grown in Idaho seal when you shop. The Quicksilver card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase. And Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
Thanks to everybody here in Boise for putting on a good show for us here at the Famous Idaho Potato Bowl this week. Stinchcomb, you probably ate 35 of those Famous Idaho potatoes last night at the Mash Bash.
That's what I was there for, man.
You ate baked, you ate mashed.
I wasn't there for decoration, Clay. I was there for consumption, my friend.
There's Adam Muema. Stiff arm, gets away. Beautiful run for Adam Muema. That basically encapsulates his night. A 13-yard run. Another San Diego State 1st down. And he is right around 200 yards on the night.
Look at that. You know, he's proven to have a second gear, a shifty guy in space, but the stiff arm to shed a tackler, and a pretty good tackler at that. When you look at it, Derek Brim's a good player for Buffalo, a good open field tackler. And it was no match from Adam Muema in the Aztec backfield.
Under 7 minutes to go. Muema again quickly gets to the outside. He's got another 1st down. He's on his way to the end zone. Gets in, touchdown. His 3rd touchdown run tonight. This one from 30 yards out.
You know, Rocky Long, the head coach for San Diego State, he wants all his players to stay. He wants them to play out their eligibility. He thinks that's the best thing for them. You know, Adam Muema, he didn't have a healthy season. He might be making a statement for the folks that are doing his NFL evaluation. I'm not sure it doesn't make sense for him to come back again next year, but this has been a pretty good performance.
49-17 San Diego State. 3 touchdown runs for Adam Muema, the junior. Now 15 rushing touchdowns on the year. San Diego State moments away from claiming the famous Idaho Potato Bowl trophy. Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome back to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Week. San Diego State, 9 touchdowns in this game. Adam Muema has 3 of them. And I wonder how good he would have been this year if his ankle had been 100%. He was gimpy most of the year.
Could change the complexion of the season. It proved to be a pretty good one. We mentioned though 0-3, rocky start to say the least.
Future Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez nearing the end of his great career. The Falcons taking out the 49ers in the last regular season game at Old Candlestick Park. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6:30. Then it's Atlanta versus San Francisco. Monday at 8:25 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara opens next season. That's going to be a beautiful new ballpark. At the end of an era with Candlestick going away. All right, Buffalo trying to do something here in the late stages of this game offensively. All in all, though, it's been a disappointing night for a program that is on the rise under Jeff Quinn. That's Anthony Taylor with the carry. Jeff Quinn was hoping that the weather here tonight, the climate, would be an advantage for his Bulls. They play in cold weather all the time. In fact, they don't even have an indoor practice facility. They practice outdoors. When they absolutely have to practice indoors, they go over to Orchard Park and use the Bills facility, which is about a half an hour away.
The other day at the walkthrough when we got here, and I'm freezing, walking around, hands in my pockets, trying to warm up. Guys are walking around with flip-flops, shorts on, 20 degrees. This is standard operating procedure for these Buffalo guys. That said, I'm sure they could, when you look at where they're practicing and the weather they have to contend with, if any team needs an indoor practice facility, it would be Buffalo.
It's going to be a first down. Anthony Taylor. Their athletic director is Danny White, the son of Duke athletic director Kevin White. Danny's a former Notre Dame basketball player, and he is pushing real hard this New York Bulls initiative. You'll see it on their jersey down there. It says New York Bulls. That they are the State University of New York. They are the largest public university in the state. They're pushing that. This is a completion into San Diego State territory to the 38-yard line for the tight end Jimmy Gordon. And they want to be the biggest athletic department, the biggest state athletic department in the state of New York.
Well, in talking with Jeff Quinn yesterday, he's impressed with athletic director Danny White's commitment to the program, not only to the program, but to his coaching staff. And they would want to replicate what's been done here, here at Boise State. They want to see if they can build a program similar to what has been created here at this university. A BCS busting program, a team that rose to national prominence. Under Chris Peterson, now going to Washington. But this program, it emerged as if out of nowhere and became a power. And it is relevant year in and year out. Jeff Quinn feels as if with the population they're surrounded with, that's a pretty strong pool that they can draw from. They just have to increase their profile.
Flags. They're going to lose some great seniors.
False start, 70 offense. Penalties 5 yards, second down.
The senior class, big reason why they made it to a bowl game this year. Just 2 wins in 2010, 3 wins in 2011, and 4 last year. This year, they break through with 8 and get to a bowl game.
And this season, go back to what Danny White did for them. They were 1-7 to start last year. And that was pretty rocky. And then they were able to finish strong, winning 3 of the final 4. But this year they started out 0-2, probably not surprisingly.
Oh, it's knocked away, incomplete. King Holder got his hand in front. Keep it away from Boise Ross.
You got Ohio State, who plays for the conference championship in the Big Ten. And you've got Baylor, who ends up winning the Big 12 championship, first time in school history. But then they came back with Stony Brook, and to me, that was probably the game changer, the season changer, really, for them. 5 overtimes to beat an FCS team that wasn't very dominant at the FCS level when it was all said and done. Buffalo was able to get that done. They rattled off 7 straight wins.
3rd down and long, lobbing it deep downfield. There's contact. And that is going to be a penalty flag. Ron Willoughby, the intended receiver, and he was bumped by Nat Burhay. The star free safety for San Diego State, the MVP of that defense, no doubt, this year.
Pass interference, number 20 defense. Penalties 15 yards, previous spot. Automatic first down.
Burhay plays that Aztec position, which is the same position Brian Urlacher played at New Mexico for head coach Rocky Long. It's an important position in that defense.
Leading tackler for the Aztec defense, very active one, as we've already mentioned. An inauspicious way for us to mention him here tonight. I know that we've gotten a lot on Nat Burhay, but he's a leader for what Rocky Long has been able to establish and continue what was started under Brady Hoke. You got two teams. Jeff Quinn's an offensive-minded guy. Rocky Long's a defensive guy. He's a Mountain West guy. He's been in the conference a long time. And he recognizes that this is the piece of the defense you have to have. But Nat Burhay, you know, he characterizes a guy that can get up to the line of scrimmage. He can diagnose plays quickly from his free safety position and accelerate into tackles. And that's really what he's been able to do throughout his career for San Diego State.
2nd and 8. Oliver lowers his head. Great second effort, gets the first down. Oliver is going to end his night well over 100 yards rushing tonight. Rocky Long's got this thing going in a good direction. His team is going to finish with 8 wins after starting 0-3. That's very impressive. And here's a nugget. San Diego State has now won 11 of its last 12 games. We're assuming that this is going to be closed out. 11 of its last 12 games when the temperature is below 60 degrees. I guess that's what counts for cold if you're from San Diego. Ball thrown up and intercepted. Yes. Intercepted by San Diego State. Now one official is saying no, incomplete. Now they're talking it over. The umpire ruled an interception. Incomplete. He's been overruled by the other officials.
Licata under duress again. Barely got that football off. That would have been a great reception. Gabbard unable to make the completion, though. You see once again Licata just heaving that football out of it. 3 or 4 Aztecs hanging all over him.
Tenth play of this drive for Buffalo. Licata sacked from behind by John Sanchez. That is the 7th, or excuse me, that's a loss of 7. And the 4th sack of Licata tonight. Again, Tulane and Louisiana Lafayette coming your way. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. And after we're done here on ESPN.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, 34 defense. Penalties half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
It's J.J. Whitaker. Well, Rocky Long was talking to us about the trajectory of this program. It's been going so well. This will be 8 wins, as we said. And look at where those guys ended up, way over there by the retaining wall. They're still mixing it up.
Fred Lee and J.J. Whitaker. Fred Lee's been involved in a number of those altercations, it seems like, in this game.
That's Taylor thrown back. Steve Fisher has done such great work with that San Diego State men's basketball team. He's turned that program into a ranked basketball team. And 4 straight bowl games now. This football team getting some national attention, doing some great things in the Mountain West Conference. And it's got a lot of guys coming back. Muema may turn pro, but there's certainly some key parts that are coming back, including Quinn Kaehler, who's done a nice job tonight at quarterback. Incomplete. 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, there's no question that it seems as if it's a pretty solid foundation, something that can be expected. San Diego State can compete not only for a conference championship, certainly for postseason eligibility. Rocky Long's got to be pleased with what's been established at San Diego State. They're going to lose some guys, obviously some key components, perhaps Muema being one of them. But to your point, Quinn Kaehler is a guy that you can build your offense around, and one that they kind of discovered in the second half versus Ohio State. Only the 2nd game of the season, really.
It's going to be 4th down. Just over a minute to go here in Boise. Then we'll get you out to New Orleans. 49-17 San Diego State. Buffalo trying to punch one in here. This is the 14th play of this Bulls drive. Joe Licata to the end zone. Caught. Did he stay in? Yes. Touchdown for Fred Lee.
You see a Buffalo team that is willing to fight to the end. You see Fred Lee juggling the football and completes the catch. That's a touchdown. He did not get hung up in that net there at the back end of the end zone.
With the extra point.
You see these Bulls, you know, they want to finish this game. They want to have something positive to point towards. They were very grateful to be in the postseason to begin with. They got to have something positive on it. Otherwise, it's kind of a bitter night.
(49-24) San Diego State. And tune in to ESPN3 for the post-game trophy presentation presented by Capital One immediately following the game. 461 yards of total offense for San Diego State. The last time Buffalo kicked off, the onside kick for Grassman went less than a yard.
Barely made it off the tee.
See what happens here. 36 seconds to go.
Going for a more traditional one here, I think.
And the hands team for San Diego State does its job. It's controlled at the 46-yard line by Lockett. And Rocky Long has been doused. And it's 20-some degrees here in Boise. Keep that in mind.
He said the cold didn't bother him, so no complaints out of him. His players celebrating. They got to be pleased with the way this season wrapped up. It is a definitive victory for this program, no question.
Rocky Long is going to enjoy his holiday season, no doubt about it.
Andrews took one from the tee. That was a little friendly fire just to get it taken care of.
Rocky Long, 63 years old. He can still bench 300 pounds. He'll throw down the sideline and lands incomplete. Jake Bernard's getting a chance to play in the bowl game. San Diego State's going to go to 8-5. Buffalo is going to drop to 8-5. And even though tonight didn't go the way the Bulls had hoped, no doubt a season to remember in that program's history. And Kaehler comes back in. He's going to take a knee. That's going to do it from Boise, Idaho, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, won by San Diego State tonight, 49-24.
Aztecs 49, the Bulls.
We look at both of these teams. They wanted to end it on a positive note. San Diego State, something to build on, and Buffalo, a program-building bowl appearance, but a victory still eludes them.
49-24 the final, San Diego State. Coming up next, the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Tulane, Louisiana Lafayette. Now to the Superdome.